Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Noah Fafita has a new weapon this season.
It is caught. What a spectacular catch for Luke Weissong. My goodness. Oh, my word.
I'm not the tallest, like being tough. My dad taught me that.
Catch Luke Weissong and the Cats all season long on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This summer, try the new Strato Frappuccino blended beverage at Starbucks. It's the classic blended iced coffee you know and love, now topped with a creamy layer of handcrafted brown sugar cold foam. Available for a limited time. Your Strato Frappuccino is ready at Starbucks.
Southern Arizona's home to your Arizona Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Would you believe we've got a game tonight? A game involving Arizona Athletics. The first game of the season. Now, it's not a regular season game, but it is an exhibition, and it will involve players playing in this season. So it is the first event of this new athletic year, 25-26, Arizona soccer. They always start the year. They're always the first ones to start the year, and they will be the first ones to start the year again this year when they open up their regular season in just a little over a week, which is crazy to think about. But tonight, they will be on the road in Flagstaff for a friendly against David Amata's Dragon Ball's alma mater, Northern Arizona.
Let's go Lumberjacks.
There you go. All right. don't if I won't give out our address if you want to come find you. But, there you go. So yeah, we've got an athletic event. It's interesting. It just these years they just turn over so quickly. And when was the last? I meant to look that up, but I didn't look it up. The last actual athletics event of the past year. So I believe that would have been the baseball team was the last team that was playing, and they were at the World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. So that would have been the last official event of the former calendar year, and that game, which they were eliminated, was on June the 15th. So roughly, how many days? Roughly about 7 weeks, maybe. That was a Sunday, June 15th to Tuesday, August the 5th, when we get the first game of the new calendar year. I mean, it just turns over so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So fast. But here we are. Soccer will play a friendly against NAU, and we'll kind of get our first chance to see what this fifth Becca Moros team is going to look like. Her three captains. She was on the show. If you missed, we chatted with Becca on Friday. If you missed that interview, you can find it. It's over on our website, Arizona Wildcats, WildcatsRadio1290.com. She's going to be led by Maya Brown, Ella Hatterberg, and Olivia Ramey. Olivia Ramey, obviously the goaltender. Ella Hatterberg on the defensive side of things. Maya Brown is a captain, a forward, actually midfielder per se. So the defensive folks are your leaders on this particular team. Maya Brown started 16 matches last year, had a goal. Ella Hatterberg, 14 starts last year. And Olivia Ramey started and had 6 shutouts last season. And 9 saves in that match that they lost on the road at North Carolina. She went 11-5-2 with 6 shutouts last year. Did Olivia Ramey. Other returners that they've got this year, Narissa Foltz, a leading returning scorer. She had 4 goals, 3 assists. They lost a lot of their scoring, so that's going to be an interesting thing to look at early with this Arizona Wildcats soccer team, is where they're going to get their offensive punch from. Sammy Batosh is back. She scored twice last year in 17 appearances, over 850 minutes. Aranda Hurge, an all-conference selection on that defensive side last year. She's back. Zoe Mendiola in the midfield, 973 minutes last season. So again, it's a young team. They've got 19 returners, but they only have 6 seniors. So a lot of underclassmen on this team, but one that needs to make the postseason. They need to make the postseason because they have not in either of Becca Morris's first 4 years coaching it. And that is one of the things that we've heard from Desiree Reed-Francois is the importance of teams making the postseason. Let's hear from Becca Morris. Again, we chatted with her the other day, and I asked her just about what her expectations are for this friendly coming up tonight in Northern Arizona and Flagstaff.
Yeah, a little less opportunity to scout or prepare for the match since no one's hit the field yet. Obviously, we're familiar with their style of play in general, but it'll be very focused on us and some of the things we're working on. We will have prepared sort of our transition defense, our press. We'll prepared a lot of how we want to work the ball through the midfield to get from sort of our defensive end to our attacking end. We've worked how we already have spent some time focused on how we're going to get in front of the goal from different zones on the field, how we want to do that. So I think seeing if those things are translating in addition to how our defense is organizing and if we've got ourselves kind of on lock the way we did last year defensively and if there's anything there that we need to tweak and improve. But I mean, that our back 6 players are all returning. So hopefully defensively that's going to be very smooth for us going into our first exhibition.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. It appears the way this is laid out that your strength is on the defensive end, and you'll just kind of have to figure out the offense as you go. But if you can stop teams, get a goal or two, then you're going to be all right. This will be the 12th. Again, it's not a regular season meeting, but 12th time that these two teams have met, Arizona and Northern Arizona, and the Wildcats have never lost to the Lumberjacks. 9 wins, 2 draws, but they have never lost. That'll be a 6 o'clock kickoff up in Flagstaff. I'm sure it'll be a lot cooler up there than it is down here, for sure. Some of the newcomers we're going to be watching this year for Arizona soccer, 6 freshmen, 2 transfers, including Whitney Reinhardt from Scottsdale Notre Dame Prep. She is the headliner in this freshman class, the reigning Gatorade Arizona Girls Soccer Player of the Year for 24-25, won the 5A state title. They were in the Open Division quarterfinals, so they went into the Open Division, did Scottsdale Notre Dame Prep, got knocked out, but then went down and won the 5A championship. 46 goals in high school for Whitney Reinhardt. So I would imagine, again, and one of the things you'll hear in that interview, if you go back and listen to it on our website, or you can download our app, the Wildcats Radio 1290 app, to hear the conversation with Becca Morris. She raved about the fitness of Whitney Reinhardt. So already this is a young lady who they're expecting to come in and do big things for Arizona soccer right from jump. So it'll be interesting to kind of watch Whitney Reinhardt and see how things flow as she tries to take the success she had as a soccer player in the state of Arizona and raise that onto the collegiate level here for the Wildcats. Aurora Gaines, a transfer from LSU, played in 15 matches there last year, had a goal, former 4-star recruit. She's one of the transfers that's come over along with Lily Boydston from Arkansas. So 2 transfers from the SEC that have joined this roster as well. She is also a former Gatorade Player of the Year, however, in the state of Colorado in 2024, where she was one of the top midfielders in the country coming out of high school. So that's a little bit of what we're expecting from your Arizona Wildcats soccer team as they begin their season with a friendly tonight at 6 o'clock. Now, there's a lot of exhibitions going on around college soccer tonight. So we got our first poll of the season, the preseason poll in the Big 12 in terms of soccer. I'll read it down to you. Number one expected, this is the Coaches Bowl, top of the Coaches Bowl, 13 first-place votes, TCU, Texas Christian at the top. Second, Texas Tech, 2 first-place votes. BYU got the lone other first-place vote in this Coaches Poll. So TCU, Texas Tech, BYU all get first-place votes. BYU third, West Virginia fourth, Kansas fifth, Colorado sixth, Oklahoma State seventh, Arizona is eighth right now. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they were preseason middle of the, I guess we can't say middle of the pack anymore because that doesn't fit. Middle of the big, preseason middle of the big last year. So kind of in that same position again this year. Utah 9, Baylor 10, Arizona State 11, Central Florida 12, Cincinnati 13, Iowa State 14, Houston 15, and Kansas State 16. You cannot lose to Houston again. That was probably the loss that kept the Arizona Wildcats out of the postseason last year. All right, your preseason all Big 12 team. This is where, again, this is the interesting part here. There is not a single player from the Arizona Wildcats that is on the all Big 12 preseason team. And if I'm not mistaken, for football, there was not a single player on the all Big 12 preseason team. So Arizona not getting a ton of respect in this conference to start 2025 from in 2 sports now. Not getting any respect in football, not getting a ton of respect in soccer. We'll wait to see what it looks like. I would think maybe you're going to have an all Big 12 preseason selection in volleyball. In Carly Cisneros, I would think she would be on that team. Jordan Wilson obviously could also be on that team. There are some players on Rita Stubbs' squad that I would think are going to be all preseason Big 12. I'm a little surprised that there's not at least one Arizona Wildcat player, but that's what we got. So not a lot of expectation, plenty of room to grow if you're the Arizona Wildcats soccer team, and it starts tonight up in Flagstaff against NAU. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. What are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on this Arizona soccer team to start this season? What your expectations are for them? What you want to see in this 5th season for Becca Morris? The type of progression that you would like to see as an Arizona Wildcats fan. A friendly tonight. It starts for real in a little over a week. Next Thursday, the 14th, at home against UNLV. The Wildcats, in fact, will play twice next weekend. They'll take on UNLV on the 14th at home, and then they'll come back and play Sunday morning against Irvine at 10:30. So it'll be much like a Big 12 weekend because that's essentially how this works, and that's kind of how they set this schedule up, which will be good because last year I think the preseason schedule was a little bit all over the place. But Becca Morris has set it up this year very much like what's going to happen in the Big 12 Conference, where you play on Thursday night and then come back again and play on Sunday morning. Next week, the week after that, they'll play Thursday night at New Mexico State, and then they'll have a week off, so they'll only play one match the following week in week 2. But in week 3, they'll play the 2 games up in the Bay Area against the former Pac-12 schools. They'll play Thursday night at Stanford and then come back and play Sunday morning at California against their 2 former Pac-12 sister squads. So that's what the early part of your Arizona soccer schedule looks like. All right, coming up on our show today, Theo Mackey is going to join us. We've got NFL football starting this weekend. The big news of the day involves my team. The Cleveland Browns. Shedeur Sanders is going to start Friday night against the Carolina Panthers. The number 4 quarterback is going to start Friday night. Now, we're used to seeing, the starters not really play much, if at all, in these early preseason games, but the number 4 guy getting the start, that's a surprise.
Put a 0 at the end of that number of 4, and you get the age of your starting quarterback, DK. I don't think 40-plus-year-old Joe Flacco wants to play the first preseason game.
Absolutely. I was not expecting 40-year-old a 40-year-old guy to start the preseason opener, but I did maybe expect that it would be someone other than Shedeur Sanders getting those snaps. Now, obviously, you've had some issues. Kenny Pickett, who's hurt? Kenny Pickett's hurt.
Kenny Pickett's hurt. Dylan Gabriel's hurt.
Gabriel's hurt. So, yeah, I guess it does make sense because they had to go out and sign.
But Shadeur's got an issue, too, as well.
Yeah, he sat out with a shoulder situation earlier this week, which is why they had to go out and get Huntley. Tyler Huntley, who we saw play at Utah, is now in the Browns camp. Being a quarterback in the National Football League is not as easy as it used to be, apparently.
No.
Not as easy as it used to be. The Browns will play the Panthers, so we'll have eyes on that game for a lot of reasons, because of course it'll be the first game for Tetro McMillan if he's going to play, and as well as Lathan Ransom, who is out of South Point Catholic, who is also a rookie on the Carolina Panthers. So there'll be a lot of eyes on that Panthers-Browns game coming up this Friday night. 520-848-1290. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Shedeur Sanders getting the start for the Cleveland Browns in the opener on Friday? Cricket has opinions, but her opinions are about traffic, and she wants to get you home safely, as she does every 20 minutes on the Fives.
From the Auto Nation, Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With a collision, River Road near Camino de la Tierra. This wreck reported River Road to the west of Camino de la Tierra. Also some travel picking up, busy for traffic on Campbell Avenue at 6th Street. Extreme heat warning until Friday night, 1:12 tomorrow, 1:10 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
The jungle has moved afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from noon till 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
The monsoon season is here, and Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing wants you to beat the heat and keep cool all summer long. Now through the end of August, we are offering a $49 diagnostic special. Our highly trained AC technicians are ready to battle the intense summer heat so you don't have to. Call us at 520-492-0748 or PixrocksCooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure, dewy skin.
Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow.
With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Arizona football will be back on the field tonight. Practice number 6 of fall camp. That'll wrap up week 1 as they started practice last Wednesday. Went Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, had Sunday off. I'm sorry, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, had Saturday off. Came back Sunday, Monday, Tuesday tonight, and then we'll have tomorrow off before going Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week, and then having Sunday off heading into next week. Yesterday, I talked about the defense and how I feel like the defense is ahead of the offense right now. One of the guys who has really been standing out on the defensive side of the ball is a cornerback by the name of Aiden Garnes. Now, we asked our question of the day yesterday. We were talking about cornerbacks. Who's the best cornerback that the Wildcats have put out on the field over the course of the last 10 years? The majority of the folks voted for both Tacario Davis and Christian Roland Wallace. My choice there was Christian Roland Wallace. The question now is, who's going to be the top cornerbacks on this team? Marquise Groves-Killebrew is going to have that opportunity. He's going to be a guy that was here last year, battled through some injuries last year, but had a lot of learning that he was able to do. Aiden Garnes is a transfer, and there's a couple of guys that have transferred in. Javion Cole transfers in. He was at Texas last year. Didn't really get a chance to play much at Texas. Was with this staff at San Jose State. And Aiden Garnes is a transfer from West Virginia. So he's played in the Big 12 before and knows what to expect. And he's made some plays, has Aiden Garnes, in the early portion of this camp. Had an interception on day 1, has had a number of passes that he's broken up. He's 6 foot, a redshirt senior out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is his 3rd football stop, played at Duquesne before he ended up at West Virginia. Got back into the portal. Obviously, they made a coaching change this past year at West Virginia. Apparently, he did not want to play for Rich Rodriguez. Or maybe he had already just decided that he was going to leave before the Mountaineers made that decision. But let's hear from this young man. Aiden Garnes, who is coming in here, going to try to win a job playing opposite. For the most part, early in camp, we've seen him and Marquise Groves-Killebrew. But again, don't sleep on Javion Cole. He's been in there. And we've seen a lot of Gavin Hunter in the slot because, of course, one of the guys that is unable to really go full 100 right now is Traden Stukes. But once Traden Stukes is ready to go, you're going to see him probably back in that slot corner position. Aiden Garnes talks about his transfer process. Chip Viney, the cornerbacks coach for the Arizona Wildcats, apparently was asking some very tough questions during the transfer process to a number of these guys, like Aiden Garnes, like Javion Cole. Why do you want to come to Arizona? Why are you leaving your former school? And Aiden Garnes talked about having to answer those tough questions from one Chip Viney.
Some of them were just like our why. Like, why do we play the game? Like, everybody, I feel like everybody has a why, and he wanted to know our why, because that'll tell him like what type of, basically tell him what type of player I am. Like, and I explained to him like my life journey and what I go through on a daily basis and how I fight through things. And that's how I basically just told him up front like what I was and who I am.
Aiden, you're really committed to the cause of bone marrow donation. Can you just talk about your story, how you got involved with that?
Yeah, so at my first school, Duquesne University, my defensive coordinator, Coach Michael Craig, we had sat down one day just to talk about scheme one day, and we just went over other things, and he had told me that like a hard story for him is when his roommate in college had needed a bone marrow transplant and couldn't find a recipient to get a match for. So he was on like his last months of living, and he ended up getting a match late. So me hearing that story and then knowing we had the drive coming up, like it was an automatic yes that I was going to do it. But for African Americans, it's like an under 1% chance that I was even going to get picked, even going to be a match. So like I really forgot about it. And then about 6 months later, after we played Hawaii, we came back, and I went home because we had a bye week. I wasn't that far. It was Pittsburgh, Philly. It's not that far. Went home for the week, and I got the email on my way home, but I didn't think really anything of it. But then I showed my mom, and she said she just threw that in the trash because she thought it was spam. So we went in the trash, got it up, and then we found out that I was really a match. And I said yes. Like, she was scared at first, but like in my head, I knew I wanted to do it.
Ended up surviving.
Yeah, that woman, I ended up doing the surgery in Boston on January 4th. By the time I woke up from my surgery, her surgery was already done. Now she's recovering. She sent me a letter probably like 4 months ago, and I wrote back to her, and I want to get in contact with her because she's out of the country. So I want to get in contact with her and try to bring her to this country and show her like what it's about.
When you got that news that she survived, she was going to be all good, what was your reaction to that?
Something that I never forget. That hour that I found out, I was still off the anesthesia and everything. But now that's something I never forget, and it's always going to be in my head.
I'm sure when you come out of high school, you're envisioning maybe being in one place for 4 or 5 years, and you end up moving to multiple places. What is that process like in terms of just from the social side, just getting to know people, fitting into a new environment, a new city?
It's not the hardest thing in the world. When I'm not the most talkative person, but when I do talk, I feel you out. And I feel like at my first school, when I filled everybody out, I ended up being a leader, and it was some of the best times of my life. And then again, at West Virginia, I didn't talk as much the first couple weeks. Then I started to get comfortable, and then those were my brothers, and they still are my brothers at West Virginia. And then here, I didn't talk to him for the first 2 weeks, but now this is my brother, and everybody else are starting to be my brothers, especially on the other side of the ball. I'm starting to get closer with those guys.
And then, Aiden, can you talk about the story of just kind of the recruiting process? Because I think you canceled other visits, right?
Yeah.
To commit to here. So what was that process like?
Yeah, I'm not if I go back to West Virginia, I had a lot of visits set up. I think I had Cincinnati, West Virginia, and then Indiana. I went to Cincinnati first, and then I went to West Virginia after, and I just felt like that was the place I wanted to go. Like I'm not the guy that needs to go to 1,000 places just to go on vacation. Like if I feel like it's home and I feel like this is where I want to be, this is where I want to be, and that's how I felt here. This was my first visit, and I felt like this is where I wanted to go, and just the opportunity. I know I had opportunity here. And I know Coach Ronnie, just how he talking to me. It wasn't like he was just talking to me just for money and things like that. He was talking to me as a man, and he was talking to my uncle as a man, my little brother as a man, and he brought us in. And I understood where he wanted, and he understood what I wanted, and I feel like this was the best spot for me.
Aiden Garnes, the new redshirt senior cornerback for your Arizona Wildcats. What a cool story! This 2 years ago, when he donated his bone marrow for a woman who lives outside of the United States who was dealing with cancer. And great story. Be the Match is the registry where you can go if that's something you're interested in doing and potentially becoming a bone marrow donor. But you love to hear about kids that are thinking about things just above themselves. And those are the kind of kids that you want on your football team. Young men like that see a bigger vision than just the game of football, that see a bigger vision than just what the game of football can do for them, whether it's monetarily or so forth. And Aiden Garnes obviously definitely seems to be one of those kids, and he, again, is making a very, very big impression in the early portions of training camp for this Arizona Wildcats club. And so great to hear that story about him being a bone marrow donor.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, great to have a kid like Aiden Garnes, but I want to say I would love to have the transportation services of the medical institution that was in charge of his. He's waking up from his operation, and the woman that was getting his blood marrow was just finishing up her operation outside the country. So I'm like, okay, how far of a trip did that have to take? That's a massively quick.
I think she's from outside of the country, but I don't know if her surgery was outside. I think the surgery was here in the United States.
I'd imagine it probably was if it was going to be that much of a turnabout in regards to timing. But hey, if you're willing to go ahead and put in a good deed to do something like that for somebody that you don't know, it goes to the character that Garnes has. And hey, if he's okay with not taking any major vacations and being dedicated to the sport, I'm sure Chip Viney and the rest of the coaching staff, they're thinking, okay, this is the kid we want.
There you go. Absolutely. No question about that. So, again, he's in a battle, and not to say that he's going to be the starter at that cornerback position, but he's one of those kids that definitely has an opportunity to be that. And he comes with some experience, having played last year, played in only 6 games for West Virginia, had a season-ending injury that forced him to miss really much the majority of the second half of the season. But he's played at 2 colleges and knows the position pretty well, and, again, has shown that he can be a playmaker early in camp. And that's definitely what you want to see. And not to mention, Smart Kid was Big 12 Commissioner's Honor Roll last year at West Virginia. Those are a lot of things you like to hear as well, getting it done in the classroom. That's one of the things that Brent Brennan was talking about in his press conference to start the year, was how good an academic team this is for the Arizona Wildcats. And I know we don't want to we want to celebrate that. That's an important part of the piece. We know that just being good in the classroom is not gonna weigh heavily with the fan base unless you're winning games on the field too. But we definitely want to celebrate those student athletes when they are doing extremely well in the classroom. And Aiden Garnes seems to be a kid that's obviously has a track record of that. So we look forward to continuing to watching him. Again, practice tonight on the field. It was initially supposed to be at the stadium, but they will not be practicing at the stadium tonight. So that's you might remember we talked about this yesterday. They were supposed to practice at the stadium on Monday and had to move out because of weather. I don't know if weather's the reason tonight. I haven't looked at the forecast. We'll get that from Cricket here coming up here in a moment or two. But they have moved the practice out of the stadium, and they were supposed to. That was another thing that Brent Brennan had talked about last week, to start fall camp was how they wanted to try to have more practices at the stadium to get the guys used to playing there at night, because especially at the beginning of the season, you're playing pretty much probably your first 3-4 home games in the evening at the stadium, and they didn't feel like they were properly prepared for that last year. In fact, let's hear from Brent Brennan and what he said last week at the beginning of fall camp about why they were going to have a number of practices inside Arizona Stadium in the evening this fall.
The biggest thing is because we play all our games at night in that stadium, and so we wanted our players to be exposed to just playing in there, what that feels like, the lights, the heat, all of it. And so just trying to and we didn't do that a year ago, and I think after the first game, I think I talked about it with Ben Thenis and some of the other coaches, like, hey, man, we need to practice in the stadium at night.
Yeah, it's tough, though, because, again, when you're practicing in the evening, and I think Rich Rod and his staff learned this the hard way early, because at the beginning of that regime, they were practicing there. They were scheduling a lot of their practices in the afternoon and in the evening. And, of course, you're dealing with monsoon at this time of year and potential storms and lightning. And so that kind of can mess with your schedule. And I think that's one of the reasons we've seen, at least the last 4 or 5 years with Jed Fish and continuing with Brent Brennan, those practices are for the most part in the morning, because you know you're going to be able to get them in without a whole lot of fanfare, whether having to deal with weather and moving. Because it's literally, when I walked up to the stadium on Friday night, everybody was running, and I'm walking to the stadium, and everybody else is running in the other direction. I'm like, oh, okay. Apparently, and because initially I thought it was just the specialists, because sometimes the specialists will go over to the facility to kick when the rest of the group is at the stadium. But then it was like everybody, and I'm starting to see quarterbacks and all the position groups, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're not doing the stadium here tonight, because I could see the clouds starting to form over campus. So we'll see how that plays out tonight.
See, you're far more comfortable in dealing with that. I see a group of people running in an opposite direction compared to where I'm going. I'm thinking horror movie mentality. Go with the rest of the group. Don't try to go towards where they're running from, because that's usually where the bad stuff's happening.
Exactly.
Which, to be fair, lightning strikes probably would not be a very good thing. So definitely want to run away from that.
Right. You would. DK on the sports tip, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We've got your BetMGM Network top plays coming up straight ahead. Theo Mackey is going to join us. He is the beat writer for the Arizona Cardinals with the Arizona Republic up in the Valley. We've got a game coming up Friday night, and apparently the starters are going to play. The starters are going to play for the Arizona Cardinals in the first game. You'll hear from Jonathan Gannon as well on that coming up straight ahead. He'll tell you why he's going to play his starters in this initial offering on Friday against Kansas City. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with the traffic and what that weather might just look like here in the next few hours.
From the Auto Nation, Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Country Club near Broadway, south of Broadway on Country Club. Little bit of northbound slowing. River Road west of Camino de la Tierra. We've also got some slowdowns for Country Club at 6th Street and also southbound Campbell at 6th Street. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Superstar Car Wash.
If you know, you go. At Superstar Car Wash, we're proud to have over 550,000 members. Be in the know and try what everyone loves today. Text SuperAZ to 27800 to get 50% off our best wash. Terms and conditions apply.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Stay connected while you're on the go with the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. Listen to Arizona Wildcats play-by-play. Get the latest news on your teams and more, all in one place. Download Wildcats Radio 1290 app from the App Store or Google Play today. Wildcats Radio 1290 app is sponsored by Goodfellas Home Solutions.
For quality, honesty, and service you can count on, call Goodfellas Home Solutions. Because when you need help around the house, we can fix it. Need a kitchen or bathroom makeover? Dealing with a clogged drain, leaky faucet, or sewer issue? We'll take care of it fast. We handle just about anything under your roof. Goodfellas Home Solutions. GoodfellasAC.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
It's DK on the Sports Tip. Did you hear what we were talking about?
Doing a lot of around the house work. New tub. We had to break up the concrete, reset the pipe.
You're going to start your own show?
Not a chance. I'm not a big HGTV guy.
How much of that work are you doing yourself?
The stripping was kind of my job. I ended up taking
stripping?
I took
You're
out the
stripping?
linoleum. I stripped out the
Am
linoleum.
I not paying you enough money that you got to strip for a living? DK on the Sports Tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This summer, try the new Strato Frappuccino blended beverage at Starbucks. It's the classic blended iced coffee you know and love, now topped with a creamy layer of handcrafted brown sugar cold foam. Available for a limited time. Your Strato Frappuccino is ready at Starbucks.
This is Andrew Bogish with a Sports Minute sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store at metalsupermarkets.com. Victory is fleeting, but I'll celebrate it anyway. Men's and women's March Madness is not expanding for the coming season. We could be at 72 or 76 teams as soon as 2027. Those in favor of expansion remain the minority, but they'll get their way eventually. I'm Andrew Bogish.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life? Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/radio and get 50% off today. That's webroot.com/radio to get 50% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. The WNBA is back tonight. Everybody was off last night, but we've got games tonight. The Mercury will be back out on the floor. It has not been an easy go of late for the Mercury. After they hit 15-6, 9 games above 500, they have lost 5 of their last 7 games. But whenever you're losing, it's always great to see Chicago on the schedule. And that's what they had on Sunday.
Phoenix has lost 5 of 6. Whitcomb, one of the best three-point shooters you'll find in this league when she's on. Couldn't hit there. There's the strength of AT for her first bucket. Filled a void for a new-look Phoenix team this year that is reeling of late, though. They've lost 5 of 6, the tap away from AT. They average 8.3 steals per game, top 3 in the league. Copper in transition, able to finish. So when you get those steals, Shimmy, you rack them up and you got 2 of the best transition players. Phoenix has come back on a run of their own to now lead by 6. Cardoso got deep positioning down low and used it to her advantage. Down 13, game-high lead for Phoenix Sky, led by as much as 9 at one point. Whitcomb bouncing off of bodies and getting an and one. That has been a theme today.
Yeah, 83-67 the final on Sunday in Chicago for the Mercury to get the win over the Sky, who are one of the worst teams in the league at 7-21. And unfortunately right now for the Mercury, they've just got a lot of pieces. And that can, having a lot of pieces can sometimes be a good thing, but can also be a not so good thing. Because before in the first half of this season, you were dealing with a lot of injuries. Clea Copper wasn't out there. You had some injuries. Obviously, Lexi Held missed a ton of games. She had started to play well at the beginning of the season. You had other players step up during the absence of those players. Alyssa Thomas has played well. Obviously, the entire season has been one of the leaders. Satu Sabali has played well. Sabali did not play in the game on Sunday in Chicago. But now you've got Clea Copper back. She led the way with 25 points in the win over Chicago. You've added Dewana Bonner, a legend in this league, third all-time leading scorer and a Mercury WNBA champion, multi-time WNBA champion to this roster. So now all of a sudden, Nate Tibbetts has a lot of pieces that he's trying to fit into his puzzle, and it has not necessarily been easy over the course of the last 2 weeks, really, since right before the All-Star break. Nate Tibbetts on the up-and-down play that his team has had since kind of going to the apex at 15-6.
There's just been a level of frustration by all of us because we're not playing as well as we want. So, I think at times when you're not playing with the same confidence, there's like frustration, not in a bad way, just like you're kind of pressing. And I thought we had some really good looks in the first, and we didn't knock them down, but we continued to play fast, and it really worked for us the last 3 quarters.
Now, I mentioned, obviously, one of those additions has been Dewana Bonner, the legend, who came over, started the year with the Indiana Fever. That did not work out. They thought she would be a veteran presence to help that team, and a young team built around Caitlin Clark, but it just wasn't the right fit for her there. So now she comes back, and it's kind of been her arrival that has kind of coincided with this uneven play by the Phoenix Mercury over the course of the last 2 weeks. Nate Tibbetts on how much Dewana Bonner's addition has played with the chemistry on this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think our front office has done a hell of a job of just getting really good players and I need to find the right group. And so I've been searching and will continue to search to try to find what the best matchups are, not only for us, but like who we're playing against. So, yeah, I don't think it's just DB. I think it's everyone. I think it's Kalia coming back. It's been Satu coming back. So we're just trying to find a rotation that works for us, and really proud of our group. It's been a tough road trip, 12-day road trip, and to finish with a win here was great.
9 players, Dragon Ball, on Sunday played double-digit minutes in this game. Katia Laksa had the least amount of minutes, 13. So you had 8 players with 18 or more minutes. That's a lot. I mean, that's a full rotation there when you're talking about that many players with 18 or more minutes to try to find chemistry with that many different players on the floor.
Yeah, and the other part about the chemistry aspect, I mean, we're seeing that the bringing back DeWanna Bonner, and obviously an all-time great scorer in the WNBA, but the biggest issue with the Mercury during that streak where they were losing 5 of their last 6 and whatnot, they were just giving up points. I mean, they gave up one game with 107 to the Fever, which I know DeWanna probably wasn't happy about going against her former team in that regard, but 107 against the Fever, 95 against the Dream, where they only scored 72 before that game against the Sky. Getting that game against Chicago was definitely a breath of fresh air for them, but it's not only the chemistry of getting people in the right spot to shoot, you got to get the right chemistry on, okay, when do we do pickups? When do we have to go ahead and drop off on the pick and roll and things like that when we're defending? And it's still been a work in progress. Everybody's been getting back from the injuries and things like that, trying to make it all work out. So I'm pleased to see that kind of performance from them, and maybe a little bit of home cooking will be beneficial for them because that was a very long road stretch that they just got done with. What was it, 5 straight games on the road? So maybe getting back home will be a little bit more of a saving grace for them for the rest of this, this next stretch that they've got coming up, because they still got a good shot, DK. I think they still got a really good shot of being maybe not just the 2 seed, maybe even stretching and trying to get the 1, when the season's all said and done.
So how long, I guess, like you heard Nate Tibbetts say there, that he's trying to figure this rotation out. How many games do you go to try to figure that out before you say, okay, I mean, there's still quite a few games to go in the regular season. You got the entire month of August and half of September. But at what point do you say I'm just gonna go with kind of what got us here and pare it down? I mean, I think they've got at least 15 more games to go in the regular season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the season goes all the way through the very beginning of September here until the end of the regular season. So they've got a little bit of time left. I mean, the entire month of August it's a longer stretch than people might realize. I mean, granted, we're already in August. It doesn't feel like it's been August. I mean, it feels like it was just February just yesterday. But this is a good amount of time that they can use to go ahead and sort out the rotation issues. And you got a lot of players that are averaging about 28, 26 minutes on this roster right now. So if you can get a couple extra healthy bodies that can go ahead and at least fill in for maybe about 9, 10 minutes off the bench, that's going to be something that I think will pay dividends for this squad when you get to that big stretch, because especially with this, they got 4 straight games at home, and they're going to need it because they're going against Connecticut, Indiana, Atlanta, and Las Vegas. You've got a couple of squads in there that are going to be pretty good. I mean, Las Vegas is only, 2.5 games behind Phoenix for the 2 spot right now in the West. So you're going to need to start picking this stuff up here for this stretch, because 4 games at home, you want to be able to make at least 3 out of 4 of those wins.
All right, we'll dive into more WNBA talk a little bit later because, as you maybe just heard Dragon Ball say, if it did not go over your head, the Indiana Fever are coming to town this week, which means it'll be another return for one Arie McDonald. We'll dive into that as well coming up later in our show. DK on the Sports Tip. It is hour number 1 in the books. Dragon Ball is here. J-Dubs got the day off. Cricket will be with us as well in the 4 o'clock hour. And Dragon Ball has everything happening in Southern Arizona sports right now, as well as sports around the world.
Well, again, Cats camp continues, and it will be another day to look forward to see the defensive front get a little bit more work here after having a struggling year rushing the passer last season. But both Dominic Lolisio and Tialo Saivea spoke on the defensive line coach Jones Salavea and what he brings to the table coming into this next season.
For me, it's just he brings like that attitude. He elevates the D-line to push each other and hold each other accountable. Just being tough. That's what he wants.
He just brings us the juice every day. He's the same guy every day. And like he said, just brings that attitude, you know what I mean? Being on the front line, we set the tone for the defense. So we do our part and help our guys out in the back. I mean, you can't ask for some more.
And again, if you want to see that defensive line set the tone early in the home opener, reminder, you can still get your tickets for the game against Hawaii on the Wildcats website. Do be sure to go ahead and get those tickets. Still a lot of sections open based on the map that I last saw when I checked out that this morning. And the Diamondbacks bullpen, another shot yesterday. The team officially announced they were placing reliever Kevin Ginkel on the 15-day injured list with the right shoulder sprain after tweaking it on Saturday after a full inning of work on that day. But they will be adding another arm to fill up the ranks here as Andrew Hoffman will be brought in. That's the right-hander that they were able to acquire from the Royals before the trade deadline. The Minnesota Vikings wideout Jordan Addison will end up missing the first 3 games of the season after he was officially suspended for violating the league's substance abuse policy. Again, this will be allowing him to miss the opener against the Bears and then 2 home games against the Falcons and Bengals. His first game of eligibility to return will be the game against the Steelers in the Dublin contest. Personally speaking, that's a bit early for an overseas game, but I digress. Addison did plead no guilty to a DUI citation in 2024 earlier this year in July. Again, after this reckless driving on the highway charge. And I'm Dragaball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Don't miss out on any of the action as the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
But again, Caleb Love now taking over the game.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats Athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions at a reported Sunrise in Pontotoc and Sunrise Drive, some slowing at the intersection. Congress and 6th Avenue in Congress. Country Club south of Broadway Boulevard and also River Road west of Camino de la Tierra. An extreme heat warning until Friday night, 1:12 tomorrow, 1:10 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen.
DQ presents the DQ Chicken Strip Basket, just $7.49 for a limited time. 4 white meat seasoned chicken strips served with fries, Texas toast, and DQ signature country gravy. For crunch time, get the DQ Chicken Strip Basket delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good at participating locations.
Eugene, I noticed you're wearing an inner tube.
No, Doug, it's my MPFSD, Monsoon Personal Safety Flotation Device.
Really? Your next great invention. And let me guess, ticket to becoming the next interweb millionaire, right?
Good guess. How'd you know?
Dumb luck, no doubt. So if you run with this, you really should call Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. They've got a ginormous selection of tires and tubes for just about everything. And their prices are the lowest in town.
Oh, and free installation too, right?
Of course. Jack Furrier's advertised price on tires always includes the needed installation services, which is like a $95 savings in most cases. But Eugene, you were able to put that inner tube on by yourself.
Well, yeah, but now I can't find the valve stem.
Yeah, good luck with that, Eugene. Let's all be as careful as possible while driving during monsoon months, huh? If your car or truck needs a little extra tread, give Jack Furrier's a call. Stop by or make an appointment online. Our one low price and huge in-stock selection have made Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care the local's choice for tires and auto repair since 1960. Here to get you there.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
That's right. What's right? What the singing people just said. Gary, you have your earbuds in. I don't know what you're hearing. Oh, this.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee,